success with Global.Media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne or rum.
We made it.
Yay! Joni's here as well. That cheers me up. Welcome, Joni. So I'm going to share the link for you to join the studio. If you want to come and share with us today. Welcome, everyone. Of course, if you're here, like Joni, please say hello. Of course, we made it, Christina. A day late. A day. Now, that's a record for me, right? A whole day, 24 hours late. Wow. The council yesterday. I was crossing the country literally from left to right, coast to coast. And that takes time, Christina. It takes 9 hours. You know, but somewhere down the journey, I realized I was never going to get back. I had a show before yours, Paulette's show, a couple of hours before yours. And I worked out to call her and say I can't make it. By the time I got back on the road, I realized I was going to be late. After talking to you, I realized I was going to be even more late. I got home an hour, 9:30 I got home. What's that? 5:30 Eastern. So literally I was super late. So welcome, Sam. I see you. Sharon, how are you doing? Sharon's got a new newsletter. I saw it today. Yes, I saw the invite. Everyone's doing newsletters.
Yes, I'm having the newsletter gospel.
Yeah, well, let me say this, my friends. Don't be a hater, right? Christina's newsletter I have to sign up for because it's Christina. And it looks bad if I don't sign up and actually read it. I can actually read hers. You see, no, but other newsletters, my friends, don't be a hater. I just don't sign up. So I get too many. I can't read any of them. So I'd rather have the few I can read. I'm just being honest, right? If you see me not on your newsletter subscription thing, don't be a hater. I just say this is any. You know, if you do a newsletter and you really want me to read it, send it to my DM. Send me a link to the DM. Like Lisa does. I will go and read it. I will go and read and comment. You know, I just don't open emails because I get 300 emails a day. I'm in trouble, so I can't cope.
But that's the thing. That's the thing with newsletter. We'll touch on it. You know, it's not for every reader, right? It's for a specific reader.
Well, I think you have to work so hard to get the content right. So that's engaging. Otherwise, the people just no one's going to read it. And once someone gets 2 or 3 newsletters, they decide by then whether they're going to read the next one and the next 100 effectively. And so whatever you write, they're still not going to read it. If they decide I'm not going to read this anymore, then they probably put it in spam anyway. But like you say, we'll come to that in good time. Hafiz, welcome. Hello to you too, my friend. Mr. Calm, my savior for today. See, when I sent out the links for the event, my friends, and my phone rang. I'm like, Calm, why are you calling me now? Why are you calling me? I have an event in 2 minutes. It goes, the link you sent out is wrong. I'm like, I tested it and it was wrong. It was a link for yesterday. Thank you, Calm. You saved my day. But now our friends are here. Thanks to you, correcting my huge mistake. Tracy, how are you? You had a show today, Tracy. Has it been or is it coming? I'm not sure. You didn't share the link in your posts. I commented on the post, but I couldn't find the link to join. Now, if it's been, please send me the link for a replay. I happily watch a replay. I like your guests. I like the conversations. That's the voice of business. That's Tracy for you, right? Welcome, Tracy. Glad you're here. Jackie, superstar Jackie Raymond's here as well. Yeah, this is a person who she trims the fat off your content. Yeah. She's a legend.
Content diet, okay. Cool.
Wow, she gives you a good, healthy content diet. Call it that. I take that, Christina. Most people waffle. When they write, they waffle. They try and use big words. They try and, have fluff in there somewhere, right? It makes them sound intelligent. Jackie strips all that out and says, guess what you're trying to say. Say it simply. Say it in the right way. That way people actually respond. So I love what Jackie does. She does. Of course, she edits books as well. Yes. Annie's echoing. No, I got my TV on. That's that. I'll turn that down in a second, Mr. Khan. iCloud on YouTube. Sateria. No, Claudia. Sorry, my eyesight is as bad as it really is. Claudia, welcome. You look like Han from Stray Kids. Hopefully that's an American thing. Is it a good thing? What's Stray Kids, Christina? Do you know?
I think I'm too old for it. I don't know. I might be a generation or two.
Yeah. There is no shame in saying we're too old. Literally, we're too old for most things, Christina. Music, style, celebrities. I don't know who they are in the house. Most of them. So Latifat, how are you doing? Welcome, Doctor Dentist. I call you Doctor Dentist and Doctor Fortune, obviously. My amazing author friends. You got a couple of books out. If you haven't read them, do connect with her. Yes, Jackie, it's been a while. It's been many months. I've got Book to Business on Friday, so hopefully you join us there. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your experiences. I love Sab. YouTube people have such creative names. Any name on YouTube is any. Strange that. No, welcome all of you. Welcome. There's many more people. Let me stop talking. Christina, please tell us now. Introduce yourself. Remind our friends who you are, like they've forgotten already.
Okay. Well, first of all, happy Tuesday. We made it. So I'm Christina. Some of you might know me already. Some of you might not. I'm a LinkedIn user, just like you here. My journey on LinkedIn started with a simple thing. I wanted to build something on my own, and as I started, I realized that there was something I was really into, and it was becoming my core message, which was authenticity, expressing all of myself in as many way as possible. And I realized that my micro niche was personal branding through storytelling, and my micro niche was actually creating a very strong link between a personal brand and a business that you want to build out of something that you love, your passion. So that's how my journey began, and that's what I do now. That's what I coach people on building businesses they love, they can sustain themselves, and really attaching their own personal, brand of uniqueness on it. So that's who I am and what I do. And that brings to why collaborating with Annie on these side hustle to business episodes here. We started our conversations around escaping the 9 to 5. People that are tired of giving all of their energy and their creativity to a job as much as they might love it, because in the end what's happening is that they become the job, right? So there is very little room left to build something that really represents them, and the hope of creating something that sustains you over the years really dissipates, goes away. So that actually was me for a long time. I knew I wanted to build. I've been in the commerce industry for 15, 16 years, I want to say. And I started first time a business, then I went to work and I, climbed the corporate ladder, right? And then as I was doing that, I was better off when I was working for myself. So I always had my job and my side business, right? So finally, 3 years ago, I said, okay, I'm going to get a little bit more serious, and I'm going to build something else, something new. And I did, while holding on to my 9 to 5 until August. In August, I said, okay, I put in the work, right? I put in the work. I did my 30 hours plus on top of my 9 to 5 to make sure that this was successful. I'm now going to go all in, and I'm officially running away from the 9 to 5 and so focus solely on something of my own. And so I did. And Annie and I are sharing our experiences, our stories here, what it took for us to be successful and make it, and what successful really means, because it's really individual. It's really success. There is a generic concept of success, but success is very personal. And today specifically, we're talking about leveraging our personal brand to build a service business, right? So how you can describe yourselves and what you do uniquely, and make turn the profile, that the expression of yourself, into profit and into a business. So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about here today. Danny, do you want to add something before we start, or should we just go?
I'd say just go. Say I could add many things. There's meant to be a couple more people to welcome. So let me minimize you so you don't think it's just you. Amazing background, Christina. I know it's a cathedral, right? Christina's, she's very humble. She's a genius, really, helping people to start their businesses. As long as you know that, and if you want to know, if she was thinking of starting, definitely talk to her. I say that for sure. That's why we do these shows, right? I guess this show is part of, my renewed focus on helping people to transform their lives. Yeah, that's what all my shows are meant to be. But I think we're heading towards years of doing these live streams, and now, I think we've talked enough, Christina. People have heard enough. It's time to implement, right? It's time to now for people to take action, jump in, do. Because unless we make that change, we'll take a step in the right direction to do what we actually want to do. Nothing's going to change, right? And I think our mission is to tell the truth about what starting a business looks like, feels like, is like, and how to navigate that process. It is just one of many of a series of events that I plan to do. I have a workshop on the 12th of January. So kickstart your year by going from chaos to profit. From talking to actually doing, to actually realizing your dreams. That's with Dr. Paula Washington. So I'm excited by these topics. Of course I am. There's much. Then I say, of course, here's the truth, Christina. No amount of talking is going to help someone. It's going to give you the full picture about how to create a business and make it work. We can talk for it forever. We can talk every day, every hour, every minute for years. You'll never get the full picture because every business is different. In the sense that every one of us has different skills, different focus, different circumstances, different audiences, different markets, right? So you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to learn the way we learned. It's by doing. You do. Of course, you plan. You do. You learn, and then you try something else. Again, Christina is the queen of trying things. I'm like, Christina, why are you doing that? I do what I know what works for me, Christina. I haven't got time to tell you. She's like, no, you got to do this, do that, do that, do that. So anyway, you get that. So you get to know us better as time goes on. If you don't know us already, right? But I will say, do reach out to Christina. Don't just listen and do nothing. It's time to take action. Of course, connect with my friends in the audience as well. So all of you, I appreciate you spending your time with us. Thank you so much. If you want to join the studio, I'm just about to share the studio link. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your questions, your experiences, your challenges, all those things that we can all learn from, right? Don't be shy. Again, so part of our mission is marketing, really. If no one sees you, your personal brand, the personal brand doesn't exist. So we have to learn that people have to see you, hear you, to feel you, literally. I say literally because that is exactly what it sounds like. That people have to get to know you, and that's the magic trick. You say your personal branding is key to that. Say you use the word personal, Christina. Mm-hmm. That's what it is, really. A lot of people miss that point, right? So I did a room the other day with Zion, and the title was "Forget the Sales Funnels, Build Connections." That's is that personal element that many of us miss in business that keeps us stuck. Well, I think who we are, how we're seen, how people feel us is part of the picture. That's your personal brand, my friend. Christina, tell us about it. Linda, welcome. I see you. So glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. Of course, last I'll say, if you got any comments, questions you want to put in the chat, feel free. We'll do our best to address most of them before we go. Christina, tell us what this personal branding looks like and why it's so important.
All right. So you said it right. Sometimes we forget the word personal in personal branding. So personal branding is what makes what you do uniquely you. Is it's not the logo, or it's not the polished banner on LinkedIn or profile. Is being able to articulate what it is that you do, why you do it, and the mission behind it. Uh, Annie was saying earlier, I try things here and there, and it seems like we're always chasing things, but because in reality, there is the what you want to build, your passion, and your personal brand, that you are attaching to something that you want to do, and then there is where you show up and how you show up and how consistent you are in your message that you are delivering. So all that, it's a huge combination between personal brand and the niche, or like we're trying to addressing with this particular topic of today, a micro niche. So it's not just one thing. It's not just that I want to have a business that does marketing, or I want to have a business that produces, e-commerce websites, or AI websites, or I'll make I'll build your personal brand for you. It's not just that. It's how we are discovered by people that need our services, and how we are discovered by the platforms that we are utilizing, how the platforms that we are utilizing make us discoverable. So you not always determine the way somebody will find you. That's why you have to try to utilize everything that you do have at your disposal. The title of this conversation here today was Build a Service Business from Profile to Profit. And for us that are using LinkedIn, but this is applicable to other social media platforms, within their capabilities, it's very simple. We have to utilize our real estate. And we must not do so mechanically, but we must do so keeping in mind what it is that we want, the message that we want to deliver. So from the very first part of the LinkedIn profile, the headline, we have to be able to say clearly who we are, what we do, what we offer, in utilizing. I don't want to necessarily say strategic keywords, but keywords that are what people would use to search what you do and the solution that you offer. So I was sharing with Annie that when I started, my headline, I wanted to be something that was that stood out, that meant something to me. So I had something really simple that said "Builder of Dreams," but that's not really a way that somebody's gonna look for me, right? Nobody's gonna say, "Oh, find me somebody that builds my dream." So I'm still attached to it, and it's still at the end of my
You
head.
mean me saying, yeah, you mean me saying I make you famous? No one's going to search for that. They're not. No, they're not.
Then no problem, but it's gonna stand out. So like this, I had a hard time, and I didn't getting rid of it. So it's there somewhere, in my headline or
Yeah.
in my about page. But we have to. There is other reasons we can talk about, later on in this conversation, why we have to make sure. Well, you have to make sure that we front load those words, right? Words that people would use to look for us, and words that categorize us. So we are all in categories, basically. On LinkedIn, it's called industry. What's your industry? My industry is consulting. Okay, what type of consulting? Well, I'm a life coach. I'm a business coach. I do personal branding. So those things need to be in your headline. And you can try to, you can make it as comfortable as it is for you, in the order that best describes you. And you can add a little bit of personalization, like I make you famous, or build your dreams, or whatever. It's something that you're attached to. Actually, my very first LinkedIn profile, it was designed for a job search, right? And I had a quote from Emilia Earhart there. There are two kinds of rocks. Only one of them rolls, or something like that. So, but again, it was not anything that somebody would have utilized to find me, right? And so we have to utilize other things. Same thing.
Christina, hold on. I want to be devil's advocate, because you know some of what I think about the profile. It sounds like I'm objecting. I'm not objecting. What it is I've got a different take to Christina. I've got a slightly different take. Maybe I think I'm important, right? I think I've for years, LinkedIn did nothing for me in a sense of being found, right? You do posts, no one cares. You update your profile again and again, and still no one cares, right? And now, I guess my background was what I call search and connect. So I'm playing devil's advocate for those in the audience who might have these questions in their heads, right? So let's unpick why the profile is so important. Now, the profile is not everything, clearly. I said that you have to move beyond the profile of your personal brand. This is our message today, right? But we have to get your profile right in the first place. Otherwise, I think, as you told me earlier, you reduce the chance of the algorithms choosing you when someone's looking for you. I get that, right? So let me welcome Dr. Marcia. Dr. Marcia, welcome, superstar author, has her own events as well. So it's about leadership from the Christian perspective. Genius at what she does. Do connect with her for sure. So Linda has a question. We'll come back to that in good time. Sharon Rose, I see you. Thank you for following us. Thank you for joining. And I see, so Linda talks about she works in the electronics and computing design. Right. So Christina, let's go back to our conversation. You see, I think I'm so important that my profile I don't care about my profile. Never have done. Never now. People change their picture every day, every week. I'm like, what the hell for? People change their headline regular. Why is it important to optimize your profile?
So, that's not always been important. For the long time, it was perfectly fine for it to be something static. It's not that you have to change every 5 minutes, right? But, we change, so we update it. But what it's doing now is signals LinkedIn that there is activity, right? Now, it's not the headline, it's not the only part of your profile that will signal LinkedIn that there is activity. Doing LinkedIn events every day or every other day, like you do, definitely tells LinkedIn that you are an active member. So there is other ways, but it's good. It's good habit, I think. Every now and then, again and again, to look at your headline and say, does it still represent what I'm doing? Yeah. And I shape my headline over and over based on my clients, how they find me, what they tell me I'm doing for them. Because a lot of what I'm doing now is not what I was doing a few years ago. And it's something that I realize I should be doing based on what my clients told me. You don't know how much you helped me doing this. And I said, oh, I did that. And I didn't realize, I was underestimating a core part of what I was doing that was important to clients. And now is actually a huge part of it. So there is the about, right? The about is not, this is my whole career and my life and everything that I did. It's not necessarily a bio, is what solutions do you offer, right? Well, what is your industry? What are the things that you do for other people? And that's there. You don't have to change that every 5 minutes, but it's good to review and make sure that everything is aligned. It's all about alignment. So now and it's also good to remember what is that you have on your profile. because every time you do a post, if you are somebody that is a business coach and a personal branding expert, and all your posting is, your holiday recipes and your gardening tips, or just motivational quotes, what's happening now is that there is less chance of LinkedIn showing that to your industry because it sees misalignment. So you actually not doing things that are in your category or in the industry that you chose. So there is that. That's what LinkedIn is doing, is reading your activity, right? And there's also reading, who are you following, who are you commenting on, all those kind of things, and based on that, it determines your feed and how you are interacting with the feed. Okay, I like this post. I didn't like this post. I asked them to take him off my feed because I don't want to see this political content or things like that. So all that's the relationship between your activity and LinkedIn, right? But then there is something that I find far more important, which goes beyond any change that LinkedIn might or might not do, which is something that you're very good at, the relationship with your audience. So we build those relationships when we go live, when we send DMs that are not necessarily I'm selling you something. It's just following up on a conversation that you had or your live that you attended, things like that, or creating content that actually helps people, like a newsletter that might have some good advice and some links to some resources that people may use. So so that's your content, what shapes your how you show up, your consistency, what you're delivering to others. All that is PR. All
Yeah,
that is how you get known.
it is.
And
It
yes,
really, it really is. You see, I guess maybe what people don't know is that every time you make a change to your profile, LinkedIn will announce it to the world. That they'll tell your network. I say, every time I do an event, many of you will find our events through the notifications because LinkedIn is like, and it's gone live. So when you change your headline, LinkedIn will notify your network. Christina's changed your headlines. Facebook does the same thing, by the way. It's something very similar, right? I'm saying,
yes,
it's those changes that help you to get seen. And ultimately, branding, I think what about branding? What all we mean is, what are you known for? What are you known as? What are you known to do? And so when you do a service business, it's different to doing a products business, right? You know, sorry, I'm distracted by Sharon Rose's comment. Ever seen Trash Talk by Gary Vee? Yes, I've seen it. And there's a man who likes to offend. That's his brand. He likes to offend people, be controversial. I'm saying, you can build a brand that does that, but look, Gary Vee has spent a lifetime doing what he does consistently. I'm saying that's branding, right? That's why we'll talk about him now in terms of trash talking and controversial topics. The question for all of you here is, what are you known for? It's not enough tonight. I'm looking at Dr. Lisa, who's here as well. Welcome, Lisa. We'll have our show tonight. Do join us. Your metamorphoses. We're talking about holiday meal planning, right? Right. Not just so you have to change your setting for LinkedIn to notify your network for profile changes. No, LinkedIn will notify people. No, that's Christina said. If you have a newsletter, when you do a newsletter, people get notified. Those who subscribers especially get notified, right? And other people on LinkedIn get notified too, especially those in your network. Those who ring your bell get notified. If no one sees you ever, you have no personal brand. Sorry, I'm being harsh. But that's the truth. If no one ever sees or hears of you, LinkedIn never sends anyone anything about what you're doing, who you are, then no one knows anything about you, right? Again, I say going back to Gary Vee thing. I think personal branding is about who you are deep down, what you do consistently, what you do your way. See, my beef with profile is that, going back to our conversation, Christina, is that I was the one on the other side. So I've been doing LinkedIn marketing since I started my business. I learned this is the biggest trick I've got in business, right? So I'm the one who searches for everyone. And that's what they say. Clients used to come to me and say, I want to find a coach in this area, coach who does this in this location, in this industry. Or maybe a manager or an accountant. I say, they should come to me with a target audience. I'll search for them on LinkedIn. I'll find them. Again, here's a fact for you, my friends. If you use Sales Navigator, LinkedIn can show up to 1,000 results per search you do. If I try and find a coach, LinkedIn will show me 1,000 coaches. The question we're asking today is, are you part of that 1,000? If you're a coach, are you on that list or aren't you? Where are you on that list? I use coaching deliberately because coaching is one of those areas where I struggled when I was doing LinkedIn outreach, Christina. Because all coaches sound the same. They don't distinguish themselves. Are you a life coach? Are you a mindset coach? Are you a business coach? Unless you tell LinkedIn through your profile, LinkedIn just lumps everyone together. So the hardest people that I found to sell was coach and accountants, another generic sector, because they don't differentiate themselves. I'm an accountant. I'm like, so how are you different to the other accountant? They're like, I'm not. I do numbers. They do numbers. I'm like, well, you have to be different. Go on, Christine, before you forget.
You brought up a very good point. So you're describing a search tool that you use, and you're absolutely correct. It says coaching and consulting, I think. That's it. It's generic. That's the category that you have to put yourself into when you select the profile. Then your job is to specify that on your headline. So earlier I was talking about, so we know the core message, our mission, how our business is different, and we have to describe it in as many places as possible. It could be in the headline, it could be in the about, it could be when we do the newsletter in one-liner that we have there all the time, where we go on the live and what we put underneath our title, for example. I have Let's Build Your Business, right? So it's all these places where you can share your message. It could be a post. It could be anything that you're doing, your activity, a comment. So all those places is where you express what's personal, right? What's different. But when we go down the profile and the category, now this is a recent change. LinkedIn has been experimenting with it since the beginning of the year, and now it's enforcing it. Now they're really combing your profile. First the profile, then the engagement and what you're posting and everything that you're doing, comments, DMs, everything. Just about nothing is encrypted here on LinkedIn. Just let's be clear. They're watching, right? Or their AI is watching. So it's very important not to leave that real estate unutilized. For example, your skills. I had to go and look at my skills because some of the skills that I had there, although I had endorsements, were things from jobs that I had 9 years ago. Right. So now you can prioritize them. You can put them, in order of priority. You can literally move them, right? Move them up. What's the most important one? So it's important if you are now coaching, it's important that, communication, for example, it's on top. So all those skills that has something to do with what you're trying to do. And it tells you, okay, what job or what part of your path that you have here on LinkedIn is this skill associated with? And you get to put all that in there. So as you know, those are all meta tags, keywords, basically, things that get mined, right? But then there is your service page. Similar thing. Choice is limited. You only can categorize yourself as certain things, right, in your service page. But it's important that you align it with everything else. And the service page would be nothing if you didn't. Honestly, I don't like it. I only have it because I like to collect reviews on my service page, and I make sure that those reviews are slotted into the services that I provide. Right. So there is all that, all the way down to, endorsement skills, people's recommendation. So, for example, I think I sent you a message about a recommendation. That's something that we forget to do because we think a recommendation is just, oh, I worked for this company, leave me a recommendation because I'm looking for work, right? But a recommendation is something different than than a business review. It's something that, your connection, your network, they interacted with you, they support and like your content, and they might say, okay, I recommend Annie, he's approachable, he's this, I read some of the books he published and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's why every single thing, all the way, it's valuable. Even the latest, the silly games, the puzzle games that we're playing on LinkedIn now, they're there for a reason. They're there because LinkedIn wants us to be on the platform, not to live, basically. And they want to see who we are interacting with. They're not just there to play and throw your phone, right? You're supposed to see that, oh, Annie played and I beat him. So, or Christina, or the other way around. They usually lose at those games. But it's a way to communicate and engage. So they want us to engage, whether it's through games, whether it's through liking posts. They want us to communicate. They want to socialize on the platform, and they want us to socialize with people that are in either that we support and help with our business or in our category, peers, etc., etc. Now, the live events, right? The live events and the newsletters, they are two different things completely, but they have a very similar purpose. Through the live event, and he's always teaching. He's always providing super valuable content, but also is connecting people, is elevating people, right? And is getting known. People know that who's Annie. I know Annie. He's approachable, he's funny. Those are some of the comments that I heard about you, that you're funny. So those kind of things. So it's not.
There's so many things about Annie. It's fine. I can live with it, right? Some say it's fine.
No,
Some
but fun is good. Fun is good. So those are those are some of the things, right? But again, when people attend those events, right? Now they're there in your attendance list. You can connect with them later. You can engage with them later. You can have you can see that somebody left a comment and you can respond to them later, right? Same thing with a newsletter. A newsletter, you have a very specific topic. People might like it, or have different issues or engage with it, but people are signing up. So there is a difference. LinkedIn promotes the newsletter, especially at the beginning, to your network. You have the choice to sign up for the newsletter or don't sign up for the newsletter. When the newsletter has been around for a while and new people are joining it, that's an opportunity to say hello. And also, what I do with my newsletter, I look at the people that are there and I see, well, they clicked to read it and follow it. So at a minimum, they are engaged on LinkedIn. It's not like somebody that opened a LinkedIn profile and doesn't use it. So you can see if they're active and if there was an interest of some sort in your area of expertise. They're not all clients, doesn't mean bombard these people with DMs about buy my product. It means start paying attention to what they're saying, what they're commenting on, if you can support them, if you can learn from them, because, the best interactions that I had on LinkedIn is because I learned from them.
Yeah, I agree. Look, the days of bombarding people with DMs, Dr. Yvonne, I'm going to come to you right next, right? The days of bombarding people with, on LinkedIn is gone. So, but in 2021, so up to then, I was sending 300 connection requests per client a week. 300 connection requests every week. Times that by 4, we're at 1,200 connection requests, right? And here's the reality, my friends. If you bombard people, hi, I've connected with you, buy my stuff. There's so many, that's so wrong on so many levels. It's wrong on every level I can think of, right? I mean, the first, I'm a psychologist, I'm a marketer, right? The first thing that's wrong with that is simply that you're saying to them, you have a problem. There's something wrong with you. And don't never start a sales process like that. You have to empower your potential clients. Don't tell them you're wrong. Your website's crap, so I can help you. Your profile is terrible. I can help. No, no, don't start with that. So no, see, when I used to do the, connect, and then after 1,200, I send a DM saying, "Here's what we do to everyone who connects." Right? Maybe a third, maybe half will connect with us every month, Christina. And if we get 5 phone calls, I'll be quite happy. That's on a good day. I'm saying that's a good clients, right? If you're in construction, if you're in the trades, I used to get about 40, 50 appointments booked for every single builder I worked with. I love builders, by the way, because LinkedIn is there for them. You just don't know it, right? But when it comes to service industry people, if you get 4 or 5 good leads, good phone calls for your clients, they might close 2 or 3. But now they have these contact details for more people every month, right? Think 120 connection requests, you get 3 phone calls. Do the maths, my friends. You are burning up 99.5% of the people you connect with. They'll never talk to you ever again. They will never engage with you ever again. It's not worth doing it. That's why I do events now. I'm like, rather than me connecting my clients, my friends through one-to-one connection requests, I say, here's a group of people. Look at the audience. They're all here. You engage them. Go and connect with them. They know, they've seen you, they've heard you, right? Let's see whether you can actually engage them to be interested in what you do. Let me stop talking. Dr. Yvonne, my beloved Dr. Yvonne, I love my friends. That's another element of personal branding, my friends. You have to truly people who you engage with. If you don't love your potential clients, you don't love your friends, you pay the
Hello.
price. How are you doing, Dr. Yvonne? How are you?
Well, you want to see?
You can turn your camera if you want. Otherwise, you keep it up if you want. It's like we can hear you, and they can see you. They can see your they can see your picture. Again, look, there's a point here, Dr. Yvonne. You see, there's different levels of branding and visibility in these events, my friends. Right? All of you are here. Those in the comments, and we can see your name. I'll mention you. I might even mention your comments. Right? Call that level 1. Those who are here say nothing. That's 0. There's no visibility. You get nothing from being here at all. I can't help you. I can't even connect with you really half the time. Maybe okay. I might give you half a mark because you're on our list of RSVPs. So we know you have to at least comment to earn 1 point. Come on stage. You earn 2 points. Talk. You get bonus points, right? When you talk, they can see, they can hear you, they get to feel you, literally. That's visibility for these events, right? Dr. Yvonne, let me put you on the screen. How are you? Looking glorious.
Thanks. It's been a long time. It's taken a hot minute to heal, but yeah.
You're back.
I believe that Christiana was talking about how, or was it you, Annie? I'm sorry. How all the coaches get lumped into one category, especially on LinkedIn and that kind of thing. And can I address that? May I address that?
Of course. To take it wherever you want to go, share with us what we can learn from you for sure.
Well, I can honestly say that that's true. But I think the differentiation comes in to how you describe yourself on the service and what you entertain. See, I remember when I first got into business, it was just legal stuff for me, right? Because I left a litigation background and I did a lateral change, a lateral shift because I started a family and I wanted to be around my family, and 12 to 14 hours, in someone else's office just was not going to get it. And I didn't trust anybody with my children. And thank God, right? Now that we're seeing all the things that are coming out, and definitely was on top of these teachers, especially here in the United States, um, because they do more damage. And you think that your kids are, and I'm going down a rabbit hole right now, but I'll get there. You think your kids are safe in school with these people, and they have such threatening crap going on inside of them that they actually do more damage to your kids. So that's why I left my profession or my career and I started consulting. But I did the legal consulting in business. So, I've started up over 28 startup businesses and then streamlined I don't know how many, and then did a lot of construction projects on the way. Into being a consultant, it was basically all business. So if someone contacted me about anything other than business, it was, no, I'm sorry, that's not in my wheelhouse. I was very plain and very open with that. So irregardless of where LinkedIn or anybody else put me, I knew that I was pointed in one area. Now, it got more complicated as time grew on. Guides us where we're supposed to be or where we're needed. In that, things started to morph. When you are evolving, like your life, everything starts changing. And evolution means hopefully growth, right? So with that came the change in my title. It came to change in the way I described myself, and then the groups I joined. Because now it just wasn't about legal business consultation, or it was about life. And I had experienced a life changing, altering situation that took me a total of 15 years to get out of. And that's why the universe pushed me into where I'm at now. And that is coaching and consulting, but it's more on the spectrum of life and holistic changes in your life. So I think you have to align yourself with the right groups. You have to really define what it is you do. Because I remember my first mentor, he said to me, he says, well, if you had to tell me in one sentence what you do, what would you say? And do you know, I couldn't do that? I couldn't define what I did in one sentence, or even two sentences, because I did everything from getting your legal paperwork together to your build out of your space to negotiating your lease and your contractual agreements. I did everything to going to the banks, making sure with you that you opened the right accounts, that you were good with the IRS, because here in America, if you are off, forget it. I made sure all those things were right. But then, because I have a master's in human resources development and the training of adult learners, I would write their HR manuals and stuff like that. I couldn't define the one thing I really did. I was just doing everything. So I just put business down there. But now the definition to me is clear. I am a life coach, a luxury life coach. But it encompasses every part of your existence. So if you're not going to be holistic when you come to me, in other words, we're going to look at what you're putting in your body. We're going to look at how you're moving your body. We're going to look at your professional life. We're going to look at your spiritual being, because you can't, to me anyway, success comes when you're balanced. And you're not going to be totally balanced because you're human, but you're going to give it a valiant effort. And if I was your coach, we would be dealing with your whole situation holistically. But it took me years to get there. And I aligned myself with what I really wanted to do, not what sounded right, but what I really wanted to do. So I think that has a lot to do with it. You have to define yourself. And then, based on the definition of who you want to be or who you are or what services you bring, everything else will come to you in its time. That's how I saw it, and that's how I see it now.
Beautifully said. Now, Christine, are you there? So, and otherwise, look, my friends, the two big things that Dr. Yvonne said, which resonate with me, is a groups thing. Now, what groups are you members of? I'm sure, if you're not part of the groups that this shows LinkedIn who you associate with, the people that you engage with, people who engage with you. Look, LinkedIn is a social platform. It's a business social platform. We have to engage. If you don't get engaged with people, LinkedIn has no cues of who you are. Dr. Yvonne's second point was really how you describe yourself. I was talking to a friend of mine literally last week. He does this, he does that, and he's ready to go live. I'm like, okay, so what do you do? He sent me some half a page. I'm like, I'm not reading any of that stuff. Tell me what you do in a few words. There's this thing in life, my friends. If you can't describe what you do in 30 seconds, then you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you do. You don't know how you help. You know nothing about what you do, really. So bear that in mind, right? This helps in writing your profile too, Chris. If you can't summarize what you do in a way that engages people who are reading it, what's the point? It almost shows that you have no clue, right? Learn how to write learn how to describe what you do truthfully, but succinctly. When you go networking in person, in real life, Joni, you've changed. That look is different. Anyway, I'm stuck with that look, right? Saying if you can't describe what you do in networking events in 30 seconds or less, they'll stop listening to you. I've been there. I can promise you. It's like someone reading your profile, your about section. If they don't get what you do in the first few words, the first couple of sentences, they will stop reading. We will do it. So learn how to really say what you do in a way that makes sense to you, in a way that makes sense to your readers, to your potential clients, to LinkedIn, to the algorithms, and to everyone else who dares to look at your profile. Dr. Yvonne, that's genius, my friend. That's genius. Christina, I wonder if you want to speak to Dr. Yvonne.
Yeah, I just wanted if you can go through some of the comments and so that we can address them, because some people ask some questions. Some of them are slightly unrelated, but we can still.
We're having an argument about when LinkedIn notifies people about your changes. Look, my friend.
Yeah, so that's part of the settings, right? So you have to basically set up your settings the way you want them. So I want people to be notified for most things, unless I'm doing a lot of updates, then maybe it's a little bit too much. You have the choice to be notified about newsletters, settings. You have the choice to see who sees your content and all that.
LinkedIn is good for pushing those who are active. That's the thing. If LinkedIn will push your newsletter, they'll push your events, they'll push your activities to your network. If you don't do any, and if you're not engaged, if you're not busy, if you're not active, nothing goes out. But if you're active, yes, of course, LinkedIn will help you, right? Unless you're, as you're saying, Chris, unless you clearly, as Joseph is saying too, you can't go to settings and say hide my visibility.
But it could be a strategy, Annie. So that's the thing, right? So you have to choose. Do you want LinkedIn to show your content to anyone, right? And now when you say anyone, you're basically saying, yes, I'll be part of whatever changes you're making, and you can decide based on my profile who you show my content to, which is something that I do because then I have my other strategy for other things. Or you can say, you know what, I spent 10 years building my network of 100,000 followers, and it's a community that is very engaged. They know what I'm doing. They keep referring people, so I'm gonna make sure that people only have the privilege of seeing my content if they are following me or connected to me, right? And that could be your personal choice. I opt for staying open and communicate with people that are connected with you or following, your own way through events, through newsletters, and other things.
I agree. I agree. Look, there's no the other conversation is around Linda's question about how to make 6 figures on eBay. Let's come to that in a second. Let's talk to Joni, and then we'll talk to Tobiloba. Tobiloba, is your internet stable, or do you keep falling off?
It is.
Okay, if it's stable, then bear with us. Let's talk to Joni, and we'll come back to you, my friend. If I hear a noise in your background, I'm minded to always mute people, right? You've done it yourself, Tobiloba. I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to preserve everyone else's ears, right? Joni, you changed. Look at you.
Oh, no. I didn't change. I just I'm pale because it's winter. I'm pale, and I wear braids to bed, so it's just become easy to put your hair in braids. So here, look, I'm not that abnormal. But
That's all right. How are you? How are you? How are you? Are you recovered?
I am still in the midst of things. So yeah, I am doing an estate sale on next weekend. I have
Yay! So you have to celebrate the joy of that.
I'm really trying. It's so stressful. I dislike this. I dislike
it. Celebrates the good things in life. Otherwise, God doesn't give you more of it, Joni.
No. I am celebrating that I am in a position that I can sell a home, make some money, and invest it wisely. I either building a new home, which I have, kind of my mindset on. Though actually, I'm looking into franchises right now. So who knows?
Thank God you have a buyer. I'll say it for you if you're going to say it yourself. Thank God
I have a good buyer who's getting a wonderful home. But, you sell your home, every knick-knack and little cranny is I remember that.
You're going to build a new home that you're going to love the same way. You're going to build, you're going to find your new crannies in there, right? You're going to find your new...
well, if I move it just for business sake to a smaller townhome, yes, I'll make it feel like mine, but it's not exactly I don't own it, but it doesn't matter. I'm not complaining at all. I'm not complaining.
Thank goodness. No, thank God, you got this far. Thank goodness. I'm happy for you. I really am.
Until I get that check, we don't know. But it looks like it should be coming. So anyways.
Share with us on branding. Share with us on personal branding. I mean, you run a company yourself. You're a star on LinkedIn.
Personal branding, well, which I've always said. So for me, is so different than some of you guys out there. I love humor. I love it. So it's part of my personal branding. I love empathy. I'm really just interested in all different types of people, and that's genuine. And so that's part of it. And then I love, I love love. I love sex. I love all that. So I'm okay talking about that and the changes that go with your body during that time. So I am those sex, love, sex, humor, empathy. That's kind of my three things that I know that are really good for people that are free. And but I have fortunately been a part of kind of I don't know, a mountain of different work type things. I've had a lot of education. I've had a lot of experience in home design, design in general, working with a lot of different type of people in the trades and blah, blah, blah. I have no pretense. There's not a pretense in my finger, from sitting on the stoop in Philly to coming here to Chicago, getting a nicer home, being left by a dick guy. And so, don't care. I care if you're a good human, and I care about what's inside if we're going to do a project together. And that is really what I think a lot of the coaches are looking for too, because I'm not a coach, but I've met so many, and they want to connect with you. And I think a coach is better than a therapist. I really do, like 100%. But you want to find the right match for you. And so that's a really important thing. And also, it doesn't happen overnight. Life does not happen overnight. Sometimes bad things happen overnight. And sorry. But yes.
Well done for holding yourself back. Well done for keeping it down. No, and this is when normally Joni goes on Joni, but she can't. No,
I'm gonna keep it down.
You did well. You did well.
So yeah, I mean, there is such a wonderful community through LinkedIn. I mean, oh gosh, who can help you? And there's a lot of people on LinkedIn who just need help. They just don't want to feel lonely. There's always someone to talk to. And like, that makes so much sense to me. And so I have no feelings, but just joy that they're able to like log on and figure like out how to not be so lonely. And that's a really good thing. And I'm proud. I am proud to be part of this community because I also was lonely one time. I was lonely. And I remember, not remember, but I should remember, Leah Garcia and I were talking probably a few weeks ago, and we just were talking about like the early days of LinkedIn and how easy it was to just pop on and have that satiated feeling like you're not alone, like it's COVID, but like people out there are they are going to support you. And I think LinkedIn did a very big disservice to their platform by doing this. And it's really changed a lot of all of our lives. But I'm still here. I'm here. Woo! Anyone need like any fun little things? I'm here. I'm real. I live outside Chicago. And, if anyone needs a buddy, I am here. And so that's, I think, what we all need, just to know that, there's so many people around the world. You're not alone. Even if you just have a couple, you're not alone. And that's it. Peace in the Middle East. What's going up? My full face. My full face gets up.
Joni, stop it. Stop it. I'm doing something, so that's why I wasn't talking to you exactly. No, again, many good points, Joni, that we can learn from. So Joni is Joni, and I think we all need to be ourselves, right? You hear me talk to Joni different to how I talk to other people on stage, because that's what Joni likes, to interact, not just talk, right? Number one. And she's one of the closest I know to Gary Vee that was mentioned earlier. Someone who does their own thing. She would talk, she's Joni all the time, Monday to Friday to Sunday. She's still Joni, right? I know what I'm going to get. And she'll give you exactly what, she does what Joni does. She's real. So that's important because, who you are is your personal brand. Don't miss that point. We could argue about whether it helps to be a nice person. Of course it does. If you're not a nice person, people will know. They can feel, they can see, they can sense it, right? Who you are really matters. Again, Joni mentions her her personal brand really is about finding freedom for herself and for other people that she knows, right? That's what she does with the humor, with the empathy, with the love. And it's
Yeah.
not so much, she doesn't do trash talk, she
I
just
don't try
drops.
to like be like, oh, do you like it up the butt? No, I don't talk about that.
She didn't just say that. She did. That's genuine for you, right?
No, I don't do that.
That's
But I
humor.
do think, like, personal intimacy is so a wonderful gift. And if you have a great partner, good. It's really weird how life changes after 40 and 50 and 60. And so that's we have a lot of great people to kind of be there for us in this group about that. But honestly, like, when I can tell someone who is genuinely like curious about their own profession, genuinely curious, like they have it, and they're just excited to like take you on the adventure, just show you around. I swear, I went to this wonderful 1930s club, and it had all like normal kind of artifacts from all of the 1930s. And this woman, she was in a flapper dress, which, sometimes that could be embarrassing, but she wasn't. And she was so nice. And she was like, and this is from here, and this is from here. And Frank Sinatra touched this, and this is the, and I was so happy for her. It just made me happy being with her. So if you have a real genuine interest in what you do, it will make any side hustle, blah, 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 so much easier because you're just doing you.
Your brand is not gonna lie. Who you are is not gonna lie. That's your brand. We have to live who we are. People would know otherwise. Christina,
Yes.
feel free. Do you want to add, or should I go to Tobiloba?
I'm speechless. So I'm speechless.
Why are you speechless?
So let's put it like this. Okay. Yeah, we are who we are, and our brand is who we are. And there are things on LinkedIn that we liked at the beginning during the pandemic and all that, right? But the thing is, things change, platforms do their due diligence and determine what works for them, right? And like you say, Annie, we are mere users. So we might have to adapt to some of these changes, right? And one thing that if we're doing business on LinkedIn, we're going to have to adapt to is relevancy. So we got to stay on topic. Your content has to be relevant. Yes, you can have, conversations with people that you met on LinkedIn and all that, or have a live that is about a specific, socializing event. But as much as possible, we have to try to, if we're doing a newsletter about, how to start a business on eBay, right? All of a sudden we cannot go and talk about how to do a business on TikTok because we said that newsletter was about to do a business using eBay. So that's the thing. So yes, you have to be yourself, right? Not hiding who you are and your personality. If you have, you love humor and all that, make it part of your personal brand. If you're somebody that is coaching people, you cannot completely be robotic. You have to have the empathy. You have to have empathy, like Johnny was saying, and be approachable and all that. But one thing that I would like to stop right there is a coach is not a therapist. I just want to say this for everybody. So a coach is not a therapist. No coach here is a therapist. And the thing is, a coach has the responsibility also, if they realize the person they're working in is really in need of a different kind of professional help, to stop right there, not charge a person for services they cannot provide, but actually recommend somebody that can really help. So that's, I would like to, make a big difference. There is different kind of coaches, business coaches, marketing, lead generation, anything, right? On LinkedIn. There is financial strategies, so many, but definitely it's very important to make the difference. It can be somebody nurturing and empowering, but definitely not a therapist. We're just
Yeah,
not qualified to be.
there is something there, Christina, right? Yeah, I think we are all in a way doing. Okay, let me start again. I think part of our personal brand as service providers on LinkedIn, especially, and I think in business as a whole, is that people are lonely and sad. They really are, whether we like it or not, right? People are lonely and sad, for good or for worse. That's just how that's life, right? That means most people are going to deal with us because we are their friend. I can't say that enough. If you can't befriend people because that's not your nature, because you're standoffish, because you want to be business focused, you lose. Trust me, you lose every time. I'm not saying go out for dinner with them. I'm saying you have to have that empathy. You have to show them I care about you. That means listening to them, giving them an understanding who they are. This is business 101, my friend. It sounds crazy, but this is business 101. What you sell is the last thing that's important. Who you are is more important. Your personal brand is more important. People are literally buying you, and people buy from friends. If I have many clients, Christina, who don't sell anything because they can't become friends with anyone.
Yeah, friendly, empathetic.
Yes.
Empathy is one thing, right? Therapy is another thing.
Yeah, for sure. But I think as friends, the reason I emphasize the point, as friends, we have to do what friends do: spend time with people. Friend time. You have to give people time. When someone says no to me, if I've done everything right, Christina, if I've established through conversation that you need my service, you have a book to publish, for example, right? When you say no, Annie, I can't afford it today, Annie, I'm not ready to go. I'll keep you as a friend because I know one day you're going to be ready. I'll keep you as a close friend. I will invite you to all my events from there on in. I will talk to you like a friend. I will be I will be compassionate. I'll be all the things a good friend will be, right? I will even say if you get to my WhatsApp, even better, because I know one day we're going to do the deal. But that's how it's going to happen, right? I'm saying we have to give ourselves that space to make real friends. The more friends you have, the more you're going to sell, especially on LinkedIn, whether you like it or not. That's personal branding. I want to say from my perspective, that's the number one rule in personal branding.
I think also the more perspectives you're going to have, your perspective is not always the best. And people can add such wonderful insights into what you're doing, even if it's not their, main business. And that's why LinkedIn is it was so healthy for all of us because it wasn't, TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. And so this was built on business. And this is built on people wanting more of a safe space to talk about their careers, their career trajectory, and also talk about how the political climate has changed that for us.
Yeah, no, for sure. Look, again, let me say this for these events, I love the different perspectives. It might sound like me and Christina are arguing, we're not arguing.
We're not arguing.
I know how these events work, right? And here's what I know is going to happen. You in the audience are going to hear us and you're going to decide, either you can listen to Christina and say, right, keep it business only. I know that's not what she's saying. I know that's not what she's saying.
But that's not what I'm saying.
I just said that. I just simplified it. Show understanding, but keep a business focus. You're gonna go with my view, which is let's break. Someone's journey's view. Let's break LinkedIn. We're humans on LinkedIn with our quirks, and just take people as they are. Right? Be yourself, however quirky you may be. Or you're gonna say, I'm gonna listen to neither of you. Maybe I listen to Dr. Yvonne
You
instead.
don't
Maybe I
have
listen to
to.
Dr. Maybe I listen to Coach David. I'm
Don't
saying,
listen to me. Let's listen to the funny man down there.
you see, I don't mind who whether you choose to listen to none of us.
Toby, come on. Let's go cheer for Toby.
Let's say something away from our conversation. Mr. Tobiloba and Coach David, let me say this now before you start telling me I'm being mean. So at most, we have 20 minutes left of our show. So between you two, use what you're going to use, my friends, but think of other people, right? Tobiloba, talk to us. You've written a book about getting leads. So branding is part of that conversation. What do you want to add to our conversation, my friend?
All right. It has been a very wonderful conversation so far. And I've picked one or two because whenever we join a room like this, it's not about what we have to share. It's about what we have to learn most of the time. And we need to understand that for a fact. All right. One thing I understand is that a lot of people think that they need a business before they build a brand. But in today's world, the opposite is actually that truth, because your brand births your business. Because just like what you said the other time, people buy identity long before they buy products. When you step into personal branding, you are not just posting content. You are declaring a clear message. This is who I am. This is what I saw. And this is why I matter. Right? And that message, when you crafted it intentionally, it does three powerful things. Do you understand? Which is to attract the right people without forcing you to chase them. Right? Visibility, real visibility creates opportunity. Right? Visibility creates opportunity, but clarity that you give to people creates demand. It creates demand. And number two is that it transforms your skill into an economy. A strong brand could actually turn a side hustle into a system where your expertise is not just seen, but valued and paid for. And the third thing that a personal brand should do for you is that it should position you as the trusted guide, not just another service provider. Because we are in a noisy world, in this a very noisy world that we are now, trust is the new currency. And a well-defined brand builds that trust before a single conversation happens. So the mistake many people actually make is thinking branding is about looking good, which is totally a wrong approach to branding. Branding is about being understood. And once people understand you, they can believe you. And once they believe you, they can buy from you. And if you are here or you're listening to us, you are here with one side or two, let me just tell you that what you are calling a side hustle is often a God-given solution, waiting to be structured, named, and amplified. So branding is bridge between the small version of your work and the business you were truly meant to build. So as we just look into this conversation, here is the question that I want you to just hold in your spirit. What identity must I step into so that my business can finally step out? Because when your identity aligns, your brand aligns as well. And when your brand aligns, the world has no choice but to take you seriously. They've got no other choice but to take you so seriously.
Toby, do you align your self-individuality, like your individuality, different than other, Black Nigerians trying to make it? Do you think you do that? Curious. I just want to know how you do it. No judgment.
Like, if I am different, is that what your question is?
Yes, I want to know how you
I'm
differentiate
different,
yourself.
definitely. I'm very, very different from everybody. I can't be like everybody, and I'm not everybody because the solution that I bring to the table is different. What people do, what
I
many
mean,
other
that
people
could be a
do,
bumper sticker. I'm not everybody.
I am not.
No, but no, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I think it's sweet.
So one thing I really want us, I want to cite an example just rightly before you end that you ask that question is that I've seen so many, I've worked with many brands and I'm still working with people even currently. And I feel like there is a problem in trying to communicate your message and trying to tell the people this is what you bring to the table. Because you can tell the world that you are Tobiloba Fumini. Yes, that does not add any value to the world. But what problem do you identify? I identify a problem that many people lose the growth. They are unable to grow because there are some leads, from lead generation to lead nurturing to conversion and to loyal and to turning your customer into loyal person that eventually bring another customer to you. So you must understand that if you are coming to the marketplace, if you are coming to give solution to people, if you are coming to solve a problem, you must be able to understand that you cannot solve everybody's problem. I do say something that
That's
even if
true.
you are selling long life and prosperity, everybody will not be your customer. So the message you put out there, how you communicate the message is what we call the personal branding that we refer to at the end of the day, though. This is what Tobiloba stands for. This is what Dr. Evan stands for. This is what Annie stands for. And until you're able to communicate this message in a very clear way, you will continue to confuse people that come to your page. And that's what you need to put at the back of your mind when it's come to personal branding. I'll just yield the mic.
Christina, go for it.
Oh,
Thanks.
look, thank
Hello.
you, Tobiola. This is was beautiful. Just wanted to say that. I really loved everything that you said there. And one thing that really,
Sorry.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot
The one
myself.
thing
I was
that
agreeing.
really stands out, and sometimes we take it for granted because at least I've been talking about personal branding for over almost 4 years. So sometimes, I know that in the back of my head, but I might have felt in the past that I was saying this too often. But I think like we have to keep saying this. Uh, you know, whether you like it or not, you have a personal brand. If somebody looks you up and they sees they find a video of you drunk at your barbecue on Facebook, that's your personal brand. Even if you say it says that you are a financial advisor, if that's all they find, they associate you with that. Uh, that's it. There is no other way around it. So, and if they find something that inspires trust, and if they find what people are saying about you, reviews, for example, how you made somebody feel during the time you worked with them, that's also personal brand. Now, I've been talking about, being human and authentic since day one, okay? And I believed in that, but I really do. But we have to curate in a way, the personal brand, and we have to stay aligned if we want to turn a service business from profile to profit. Now, a lot of things have changed on LinkedIn, and that probably was reason one for this topic here today. A lot of things are changing on LinkedIn. I love the audio rooms, right? I love being in my pajamas and blabbing for hours with friends and laughing, talking business and other things. I love them. There are some rooms here on LinkedIn. They are so much fun. Noni Virani has one with music and all that. So there is the business part, and then there is other things. and you can be yourself and funny and just being 100% you, even if you're doing a training, even if you're going live, you can be all those things. But we have to find ways to curate and align, especially now, if we want to survive. Things have changed, and people are saying, hey, my posts, they say they only got 2 impressions. I only got 1 like. What's going on? A year ago, I was writing worse things and I was getting 50, 60, 100 likes, people engaging with me. Am I doing something wrong? And then naturally, I've heard for lots of, from clients and people that ask me questions, oh, it's because LinkedIn is doing the pay to play things and they don't care about my content. They're giving priority to the people that are paying for boosts. Part of it is true. What's true is that also now you can pay for to boost your ads and all that, like Google has been doing for ages, like Facebook has been doing for ages, Pinterest and all of them, right? But what they're doing, unfortunately, their system of ranking is becoming much more like TikTok and Instagram. For you, your feed is customized for you. So with the content that you're going to be seeing, some of it is going to be the one that you click the bell on because you're following your connections. But a lot of it is going to see things that LinkedIn associates you with because of the way you engage with others, because of the pages you follow, the people you follow, what you said, who you were commenting in, who you were DMing. There are a lot of great creators here. I'll say his name, Americo. He keeps saying, I keep, curating my feed. And sometimes I disconnect, with things that I'm no longer aligned with. I do the same. I don't keep every single connection. Sometimes I have to disconnect just because the feed is not what I want. It's not what I'm interested in. Even if I see an ad all the time about some university that keeps repeating over and over and over again, I go there and I said, I've seen this too often, because I'm trying to teach or train the LinkedIn language models, right? To understand that that's not what I'm interested in. That's not what I'm focusing in. So that I can see more of the things that I want to see, and I can engage with more of the content that I want to engage with. It doesn't mean that I cannot have a whole set of other, network and other ways that I do, that I use to grow and engage with my network that has been a longevity network. It just means that I have to do both. I have to, do, for example, the lives, like Annie does, the lives, to keep all the friendship, all the great network, all the friends engaged there. That's a great way. Lives are a great way to engage. Or you can do the newsletters to provide some of your best content. But these other things exist. And this is ranking you. No matter whether you like it or not, you are being ranked. You're being ranked by your content, by what you say, by who you connect with, the words that you use. And either if you're spamming, they're ranking you. You're spamming, down. So that's what I'm trying to say. So, I'm not just all strictly business and everything else is out of the window. I'm saying we have to create a balance. So we have to be aware. These changes are here. It's good in a way because it keeps us on our toes, talk your craft, right? Keep producing content in your lane, talk your craft. In a way, it's good. In a way, it's good, right? But if you're the creative type and you like to divert, you might miss that part. But you have to be aware, and you have to find the fine balance that works for you. So unfortunately, most of the complaints I heard were from much larger creators. Then all of a sudden they experience invisibility. Like, wait a second, I spent a decade having this huge network or 50,000+ followers, and now I'm getting 2 and 3 likes. What's going on, right? So they're being ranked for some reason, either as part of engagement pods, for example. Their content has been not classified as valuable, And we're all going through it. I'm not saying that my content is number one. We're all going through it. And so what we have to do is be aware and take the steps that are good for us to be discoverable according to the platform rankings that we're using, because we're using it. So we want to follow some of the rules, and also to keep engaging on a much personal level. For example, with people we met here today. So if there is somebody that made a comment that you want to engage or respond to, or somebody that you has been coming to this event consistently and you feel aligned with, it's okay to send a message, right? To offer some support. You don't have to charge for it. You can just offer the support because you notice that this person is been coming to every single event of Side Hustle to Business. So you just want to say hello and you want to give some resources, for example. And then over time, if it might happen that this person asks for your help in another way. But all I'm saying is we gotta be aware.
Yeah,
We have to stay.
I agree. Look, your numbers. I'll say that, Christina, your numbers, your likes, your comments, your engagement, the way you see it on your posts is vanity metrics. Don't pay attention to that. No, you might want to know what more type of content to do more of. Even then, I say your content should reflect who you are in your business. If no one likes it, so what? People are looking at it and they're getting the message. They're seeing you as that person who does that. Even if you get 1 like, 2 likes, don't worry about that. You're really not. It's the most unimportant thing ever. Get just like same as me saying having 100,000 followers does not mean you're going to sell more. It really doesn't. I see it every day. It doesn't mean unless you have an engaged audience, an engaged community of people. That's what branding really is about. Build that community of people, right? That's what really counts. Everything else is immaterial. Before we go, no, we're not going yet. I'm going to give Tracy and Dr. Coach David a chance to talk. So, Dr. Yvonne, Latifat says, Dr. Yvonne, your story is relatable. Have a similar journey to you. I know the young lady. I know she's definitely had a challenging journey with the litigation background. I'll come to that in a second. Joseph says, you left us with a key insight. Define what you do in a sentence. It's very motivating, Dr. Yvonne. So I just wanted you to know that before we go. Cheryl Rose. Yes, maybe someone can't articulate what they do. But if you can't articulate what you do, how will people get it? They can't. They won't get it. It's hard to explain. It sounds harsh, but if you really can't articulate what you do, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, big trouble, really. Because unless your potential customers know you can help them, that's what the level we're saying. Where are you going? Nowhere. No one's going to come to you when they don't know how you can help, right? So you have to find a way to communicate what you do. Maybe communicate is the word, not articulate. I want to go to Coach David because he has to go. Coach David has to go. So let's talk to him quickly. I have no answer for you, Alex. So Carrie, how do you buy ALX 2049 coins? I have no idea what that even is. So no one else here does either. So let's leave that alone. Coach David, talk to us briefly, please.
Interesting conversation, and I hope my internet cooperates all the way. Thanks, Christina and Tobiloba and everyone who's spoken. I've not been here for too long, but I wish I had a long time to interact with us. But deep conversation. And 2 things I'd just like to say. Number one, one of the original or most modern meanings of branding is the psychological space that a product or a person occupies in the mind of the person that will buy it. And much more recently, the value that person or product has in the life of the consumer is the brand. The size of that brand is if I were to withdraw that product or that person from the life and the mind of the person who is buying it or consuming it, what gap of emptiness would they feel? This would give us a picture of what that personal brand is. Now, the other thing that started happening, Christina was on that point, is that some subtle things are beginning to happen to us in the online space. And I just want to shed light on it. The gap between real life and personal online profiles is beginning to narrow. And that's a design of the creators of social media. They originally wanted to know where you live and who you are, with you talking about yourself. Gradually, you can use fake profiles and all of that, but for somewhere like LinkedIn, authenticity is becoming a must because people are now beginning. Some people don't even know you, they never met you before. All they have are your pictures and your images online. If you know that you have a product to sell, you may want to quickly open a business page and begin to connect from that page strictly. If you want to still sell from your personal profile, which is your personal brand, in quotes, then you've got to be ready to invest. You can't just take selfies and pictures and show your lifestyle generally without you thinking about the corporate thing you want to sell from your personal brand. What do you want that brand to stand for? What space do you want that brand or that name to occupy in the mind of the person who is looking at the picture and the profile? Gradually, the measures are happening so that HR professionals and recruiters and those that want to do business with you go search for you online first. So you cannot say you are a corporate investor and then you're on a bedroom slippers or there's a picture of you running around with he-goat somewhere and you say, I'm enjoying Christmas in my village. The person can easily think you're a fluke. And that is beginning to say we probably are in the age of very sophisticated mobile phones and pictures that you can touch up yourself. And that also has led to deep fakes. And people can put videos and pictures of what is not real. In the middle of all of that, what is real and what is not real is also the fact that it's calling for much more deliberateness. And that change has happened to us. And I don't know whether we know that we are in the age where personal branding has become the only way to maintain authenticity. You're probably looking phony or funny because of the way you look and because you approach your profile by being just simple. The new definition of authenticity is that through the line, you're an authentic person. And you may make that mistake, but that's how people are viewing you. People won't be able to divorce anymore who you are on the main street and online. But some people don't even know you on the main street, may never meet you on the main street. They'll first of all go online and then they begin to refer to how they will network and how they will give you business and how they will relate with you and give you opportunity only by what they say and the impression they form, which may not be the accurate thing, which may be funny, which may be fake. However, that is the new way many people will be viewed in the future. That's why we can't afford to be careless. You can't afford to say, I'll do all my personal branding myself. You've got to have friends, professionals who help you look at how you come across. The angle of your head and all those things, headshots, and all those things that you probably would not care about before. We are suddenly in a place, as Christina said on LinkedIn, where we have to pay attention to them. This is the interesting part. Many of us don't know yet that we are in that space where our personal brands is not something that can be left to randomness anymore. If you're going to be on social media, people are going to check you out very quickly. They go to LinkedIn, they go to Facebook, they go to Instagram. They want to dig behind the scenes to know who you are. If anything in all of those profiles seem different from the main story you're trying to push, they begin to dig deeper. But when it all checks out, you qualify at a level. Now, that may not be fair. That may not be accurate. Unfortunately, that's the new world we are in. So this personal branding game, social media is forcing us to take it seriously. Social media is evolving into something else where it's being used as the new billboard to measure us. We can't afford to leave it to happenstance. And it's a perception-driven world. It may not be the accurate perception, but you're going to suffer the perception. Are you the one we're looking for, or should we look forward? The second thing I'd like to say is that you will have to deliberately build it. You can't escape intentionality anymore. The beauty of that is you may not have done something too much and you can craft a story. However, there can be no gap between that brand and the delivery. If I have a feeling before I used your service and that feeling does not match after I use your service, you are a fraud and your brand will suffer. You told me you were this and that, and in reality, I ordered your product, or I consumed your product, and then it's on the negative side compared to what I consumed. So the brand promise and premise you gave me, the feeling of where I positioned you in my mind was out of the room by the time I consumed just a little bit of your product. That's the end of our conversation. And if you're not careful, I'll start an online campaign. That campaign can go viral quickly. One tweet ended the lady's career. One tweet. She tweeted before she left Joburg. When she got to London, about 6.5 or I think 7 hours later, she didn't have a job anymore. And she was a senior exec. One tweet can end your career. One quiet tweet. One drinking with the boys. One misconstrued statement. You may have to get people who are professionals, if you're serious with your career path, to look at your personal brand, because that is how people knock your door. That's the new way they will remember you. And there are many parameters: top of mind awareness, brand for me, product that I love, consideration set. Is a journey. How many people will think of you with love and passion? So you are the only one they are considering for that service. That's down the line. How many will become your loyalist? That's also down the line. How many will only be exclusive with your brand and then they begin to advocate for you? I mentioned 4 different characteristics, all arising from, and this is the beauty of the social media, and I'll stop here. You can go all the way from consideration sets, just to be aware that you exist, which is top of mind awareness, all the way down to exclusive loyalty in a few days or hours, which wasn't possible in yesteryears before the advent of social media and the internet. Today, you can close the communication, the consumer journey or consumer life cycle in consuming your brand, all the way from consideration sets to start craving loyalty in a few hours of excellent service delivery, if you know how to play your game. Now, that anybody understands personal branding or branding, that's a lot of big money in the bank compared to the days where you need to spend heavy budget on billboards and heavy budget to convert one person and take them all the way down the line. So the cost of moving a customer down through that consumer funnel and into becoming repeat purchasers and all of those things is now very shortened. That's a blessing. The cost is that it will not happen ordinarily. You will have to spend energy and money and time to ensure that you get that done. So is the hard way the only way? Welcome to the new world. Thanks, gentlemen and ladies. I wish I could stay longer, but I'm in Africa where the internet is funny. You know, we're getting there. Don't let me say negative things. We're getting there. But thanks. I've been enjoying the conversation, and I yield the mic so I don't speak for too long. Thank you, Annie. Hello. I yielded the mic.
I'm here. Christina's there. Christina, why do you say quiet? If I keep quiet, then please jump
No,
in.
it's great. I mean, I was just listening very carefully what Coach David was saying. I agree with a lot of the points made. You know, one advantage that as somebody that is starting out as a small business you have is that you have a clean slate. You can start fresh, and you have some control on what your personal brand might look like, to specifically what you want it to look like. You know, when somebody lands on your landing page or your profile, what do you want them to feel? What do you want them to see? You know, what's the first thing that you want to tell them about yourself? So imagine having a conference room with people coming in to get to know you and your personal brand. So you're meeting these people face to face. So you'll shake their hands and you'll say a few things about yourself, and what your business does, and how can I help you? How can I support you? Right? So imagine your landing page doing the exact same thing about you. And again, your previous clients or somebody that you interact with, leaving you a review or making a comment on your post, on your profile, on your newsletter, that has more value than you can ever imagine, right? Because it's about the trust factor. So the personal brand now, it's about the trust factor. Your niche is what you do really well, the services that you offer, and why what it is, how you can support them with all your skills and all that. So you put yourself in that category. And then the personal brand is the trust factor. And you can only build that by actually having conversations with people the old-fashioned way. Some things never change. So we talked about all these scary things, algorithm, how to optimize the profile. All that, it's important, right? But it's just as important as having those conversations. So you can have your profile perfect, everybody looking at it, but then people connect with you and you say, oh, I don't have time to talk to you. Well, so how are you going to be doing business? So you have to be willing to having those conversations, and you have to be willing to filter. So is this somebody that I can actually support? I can be beneficial to them, or no, this person has misunderstood, or maybe it's my fault that this person has misunderstood what my profile is and what I do. And I have to just have that courage to say, no, actually, this is what I do, right? And learn from that experience. But we can only do all these things with interactions. So, the social media, I say that all the time. We forget that, but it's not all fun and games. Again, it has to be, we are here to do business, right? We're here to leverage personal brand, to build the service business from profile to profit. That's what we're here for. So if we're here to do that, at least that was the conversation of today, we have to be deliberate about it and make sure that every interactions we do have, whether it's on video, post, newsletter, we are offering some kind of value that serves as our business card. So that's really important to me. That's how I've been doing business on this platform for almost 4 years. That's what's working for me. That's what I teach my client. Be yourself. Build a business from the heart with something that you do love and enjoy. But don't forget that now you're visible. At least you want to be. So what do you want people to see?
I like that. I like that. I think Coach David made a very good point. I made many good points. I say, but building on what you're saying, Christina, I think the thing that stood out for me amongst the many geniuses shared is, what are others saying about you? After our network, they're part of our branding. The people you serve, your customers, even your prospects, people who meet you. What do they say about you? You see, I always work on this simple principle, Christina. Whoever I meet, even if I'm not going to work with you, I always aim to leave people feeling better than when they met me. It's a deliberate strategy. There's many ways that you can do that, by the way. Literally, now you can compliment them. You can go deep into their passion, for example, and I get them to talk about what really excites them, and empathize. As we were talking about earlier, empathy, understanding people, getting on the level with them, knowing what they're really saying, how they're feeling. That's empathy, right? I'm saying, be interested in what they do and what excites them. If you can help them, of course, offer them help. I'm not saying sell to them. I'm saying just elevate people. If you leave them feeling good, they'll say good things about you. See, I'm lucky, Christina. So are you. Again, when we do events, Tracy gets the same thing. So does Toby Loberg. Is that we will do events, right? Now people say, Tracy, now you're an amazing person. Tracy's like, me? It's little me. I can see it if you look on her face when they're doing it in the chat. And she's like, I'm just me, right? But it's like, what you do affects people. So elevate people, and you see the results. I promise you. That becomes part of your brand. Of course it can. No, but those people go and tell other people. Tracy's amazing. Christina's amazing. We know. Now you know too, right? And they would know too. It's not about what we say; it's what other people say about us that really holds water. No, I'll leave it at that for now. Tracy, please, no, you're the last to come and share with us today. Like, at least the show starts soon. But talk to us. Take 5 minutes and share with us what you want to share with us today.
Give me 15 seconds. That's more than enough. I'm
And
here.
you're always succinct. Go for it.
And I think this StreamYard is going through some new version because I see two of me, one on the side and one in the middle. Is that what you see as well? Any?
That's myself. No, I'm talking to myself.
I guess I have a different version.
You can delete one, right? One is for those on mobile. The left one is for those on mobile. And the right
No, I just have one computer. I will figure that out. Okay. I'm here to support you, and I learn a lot from all the speakers, Coach David, Christina, and Toby. And I just want to add something quickly. I do believe that keeping it brief, short, is very important. With people's attention span is 7 seconds now, we need to focus on the message we're delivering, and people has to understand within that 7 or 15 seconds, whatever it is, because communications now are less interactive, it's more directional. It's very unfortunate with younger generation, and also this platform is LinkedIn, for example, transforming from professional to social. People do not pay too much attention anymore. I think we have less and less serious-minded business people here doing business. It's more like a blend of social and professional. Don't know where it's going toward. Maybe just another Facebook, Twitter, X. So message sending from us or sending from any personal branding or business brand need to be focused, very direct, and purpose-driven, hopefully. As the thing I want to say, just keep it short, simple, maybe sweet. Thank you, Annie.
Tracy is always to the point. We like that, Tracy. So, Alavine, welcome. Never too late to our party, my friends. They join us last minute, first minute. Will they spend a minute with us, half an hour, or 2 hours? We thank you the same way, right? It could be somewhere else, but you're here today. Who's LinkedIn user? I have no idea. Christina, maybe? We lose. I don't know who. So if you put your name there, I will know for sure. Yes, Tracy, my Superman share. Ignore that. That's my wife's joke, right? Anyway, you go, Christina. Talk to us. You're muted. Are you muted? Yeah, you're muted.
Yes, I said I love your new logo, Superman.
Leave me alone. Anyway, I could explain it in a long way. So I came home last night.
I have a T-shirt just like that. Next time I'll try to wear it.
The wife is like, all your clothes need to wash them. So I haven't worn them. So I'm going to wash all of them because where I've been, it was almost contaminated. So if you were my friend, I'll tell you the full story. But anyway, there's been a lot of gems today, Christina, right? So we've learned a lot.
Yes, I wanted to answer a couple of people from the comments before we leave.
Which ones?
Somebody was asking about, and I know that this is a little bit off topic, but somebody was asking about eBay.
Yeah. So how do you do this bigger business on eBay? I think was the question.
Yes. So here's the thing, right? I used eBay for nearly 2 decades. I was one of the first account holders, and I did it for my career, really. So it's not very different than when you do a headline where you're selling on eBay, right? You have to be deliberate. If you're selling a product, you have to describe it with the words, the exact words that somebody will utilize it to find it and being discoverable. Now, millions of eyes on eBay when you're trying to sell a physical product. So that's definitely, if you have product to sell, that's a platform, good category tree, easy to put it there, but just you have 80 characters to do a title. So don't make a sentence, make it really keyword centric and you'll be successful. And then if anybody's using eBay, just download the app, because it's so amazing. You say what you want to sell. It's going to tell you, does it look like this? Yes. Snap a few new pictures. It puts it already in the right category, and it already tells you what the price range is and what shipping method to use. So eBay has been using AI for a long time now. It's able to match the product and is able to teach you how to list it correctly. And I saw some comments that now is doing print on demand. Yes, but it's relatively a new game. And if you want to do print on demand, I would say either use Etsy or Zazzle, because they had a little bit more experience doing that. If you do print on demand with eBay or Amazon, now you have to make sure that the third party is doing all the shipping on time, otherwise you get in trouble. But if you want to sell physical product, eBay is the one. I wanted to talk about it because we're talking about, the words you choose, the headline, how you present your business. We are product too. So it's not very different than when you sell an item on eBay. So you're using all the words for the item to be discovered by people that are the one to buy it or collect it, right? Same thing. You use all the words that somebody would use to find you and the services that you offer. So just like eBay, LinkedIn is also becoming keyword centric. eBay has been like that for decades. LinkedIn is doing it now. They're filtering. eBay has been filtering their meta tags for decades. LinkedIn is doing it now. This is not science fiction. That's what's happening. That's all.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. Look, I think see one thing I take away, there's many different things we have to do when it comes to personal branding, right? And don't rely on only one source. Unless your target audience really is kids. There's no money in kids, by the way. Who said that? Don't look at me, right?
Mother spend money. Mom spends money.
Talk to the parents. That's why we do adults platforms like this, right? And Tracy, I agree with you. I think LinkedIn is getting better. I really do. I remember when I joined LinkedIn in 2015. God, it was boring. Before that, it was even more boring. It was a CV job search market, really. When I came here, I was determined to break LinkedIn to make it a social website, and the social site now it is. We're nearly there. I'm not saying we will enjoy looking at pictures of people's food or their cats or their babies, but the people that's people for you, right?
Or their turkeys.
Amongst those people is opportunities. Really, your customers are amongst those people. If you know who they are, you can identify them amongst those who like the funny stuff, right? The weird stuff. I'm saying, but otherwise, know your audience. And there's something that I want everyone to know. Branding is simply, it's not how you look. It's simply how you do what you do. Coach David mentioned it. Delivery is everything. There you design a way that you do what you do. See, that's what I had to do. That's why I realized after 10 years I had to do on LinkedIn. Define a way that any does events. Any does events anyway. Whether you like it or not, that's what you're going to get. And some people don't like it. I work with them, I do an event with them. That's the experience. Like, that's too noisy, don't like it. I want to be just me talking. I'm like, okay, I'm not for you. Go somewhere else then. It's fine. I'm saying do what you do. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. But do them your way. That's branding. Maybe there's another conversation in this, Christina. I'm sure there is, right? Maybe next we'll talk about branding for physical products. Rather than today is branding about your service business. Let's talk about branding for physical products. I think that's a different angle. So yes, many similarities, but ultimately branding is unless you get seen and get known for what you do, and you do what you do in a genuine way. And all the things we mentioned, your brand is a God-given gift. I love that from Tobiloba earlier. It really is. What is your God telling you for how you have to do what you do? That's a real differentiator. It's my idea and Christina's idea, two different things. Everyone's will have a unique idea. They're there to live yours. They're to create your process, your way, your unique way from day one. That's what we're calling on you to do. That's what Tobiloba talked a lot about, right? Those who do succeed. If you don't, you might succeed. You may, right? You might remember like Coca-Cola. Later on, you put a brand on top of the products, right? But then you can create that today and build on that every year. Then you're going to get bigger and bigger. Serve more people. I tell you, it was glorious. Now, I need to let you go because I need to go myself. Christina, thank you so much. Tracy, thank you as always. Please, Tracy, next time you do an event, invite me. You know, you invited me in a group chat, but there was no link. I was heartbroken. Put a link there, please, next time. Thank you so much, everyone. Joseph, you're a star. Latifat, so glad you're here. Sharon Rose, all the others who've joined us. Jackie, Akaku Carrier, Alexis. There's many more. We're back again in 2 weeks' time. More importantly, join us for Lisa's show about menopause and holiday meal preps. Americans have 2 holidays coming up, so what's 2 days' time, right? Yeah, two holidays now, Christmas and Thanksgiving. We only have one, the rest of us. No, we've got 2. New Year's is another one, right? It's quite big in our part of the world. Well, join us in 2 weeks' time. We're going to have another great topic. In the meantime, connect with each other in the comments. Connect with Christina. Connect with our speakers. Connect with me. I don't know what you do. I can't call you, can I? Branding starts somewhere. Start today, my friends. Take care, everyone. Take care, everyone. Christina, please, you can have the last word.
Just my last word is thank you for joining these events. I see a lot of returning faces, so just want to say thank you for coming, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
I love my friends. I really do. Thank you, everyone. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrating with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.com.